All right, so all game fours of the first round are in the books. We have some pretty interesting series now on our hands as a lot of the series are tied and a lot of these games were really close. Two of which were ended, within 1 point. So let's get into that with on that note. So we have the Jazz beating the Mavericks 100-99 in game four to tie up the series. This was Luka Doncic's return, and he had a pretty good game, a double-double with 30 points. Reggie Bullock at 11, 11 for Finney Smith, but the Jazz just barely edged past them. The really good game from Jordan Clarkson, as well as Donovan Mitchell with 23 points, 25 for Clarkson, 12 from Bogdanovic, and they tie up the series. So it's a 100-99 victory. Next game, we have another 1 point, margin. It's the Timberwolves tying up the series at 2 games apiece. 119-118 victory in game 4 over the Memphis Grizzlies. For the Grizzlies, really good game from Desmond Bane once again, but the Timberwolves had a really good game for Karl-Anthony Towns, who had a double-double with 33 points, 24 for Anthony Edwards, 16 from Jordan McLaughlin, 17 from Patrick Beverley, and that got the job done for them. They needed this win. I mean, they were coming off a really hard loss in the game before, in game 3, so they tie up the series, and we got an interesting series on our hands. Next, the Miami Heat take a 3-1 series lead over the Atlanta Hawks with a 110-86 victory. Pretty dominant victory for them. Jimmy Butler once again doing the things he does best, scoring in the clutch. He had 10 rebounds and 36 points, 14 for PJ Tucker. Bam Adebayo had 14, 12 for Max Struss, and pretty good game from the Heat. The Heat have been pretty good in this series so far. Been pretty solid. I mean, I think they're a pretty good contender coming out of the East. For the Hawks, they had a really good game from DeAndre Hunter with 24 points, but Trae Young was quiet with only 9 points. So Miami takes a 3-1 lead in the series. Next, we have the Raptors finally winning a game despite being down 3-0 in the series against the 76ers. They won at home 110-102, and the Raptors had a really good game from Pascal Siakam. He was the leading scorer with 34 points. He played almost all the minutes in the game. 24 from Gary Trent Jr., 13 from Thaddeus Young. For the Sixers, they had a really good game from James Harden, but that was pretty much it. Joel Embiid didn't have quite the performance I expected. Harden had 22 and 21 for Embiid, 15 for Tobias Harris. But yeah, I mean, the Raptors needed this one. It's do or die for them at this point. So they're trying to stay alive in this series, but they're playing a very good team in the Sixers, who are pushing them against the wall now. But the Raptors do get on the board with a win. Next, we have the only sweep so far in the playoffs. The Boston Celtics sweep the Brooklyn Nets as they win in Game 4, 116-112. I mean, how disappointing must that be if you're a Brooklyn fan? You have all the star power. You have Kyrie Irving, you have Kevin Durant, and you have Harden for part of the season. And then you get Ben Simmons, who doesn't even play. And so what a disappointment. I mean, Kevin Durant played all but 1 minute in this game, and he had 39 points, which was great for him. But, I mean, they fell short. 20 for Kyrie, 23 from Seth Curry. For the Celtics, they had 29 from Jason Tatum and 22 from Jaylen Brown. Sort of like the tandem of them was really powerful. Marcus Smart, the great defender, also had 20 points in the Celtics, showing their dominant performance over the Nets in this series, sweeping them 4 games to none. And, I mean, that's pretty impressive for the Celtics, beating a team like that with Kevin Durant. Maybe, it's going to show a lot of things coming this offseason for the Nets. I think there's going to be some changes, but besides the point. Next, we have the Bucks taking a very powerful 3-1 lead over the Chicago Bulls with a 119-95 victory. I mean, yeah, the Bucks pretty much have this series over already. The Bucks had an amazing game from Giannis Antetokounmpo. He had just under 20 rebounds with 17. He had 32 points. Drew Holiday had 26, 27 for Grayson Allen. I mean, that's a huge scoring performance for those 3 alone, and that doesn't even include the other guys. For the Bulls, they had a really good game from Zach LaVine with 24. I mean, he's been good this playoffs, 13 assists and 24 points. DeMar DeRozan with 23 points, but it wasn't enough, and they lost by a lot. So over 20-point loss once again. I mean, Bulls, a lot of questions surrounding their legitimacy. So yeah, Bucks take a 3-1 lead. Next, and finally, the New Orleans Pelicans, the 8th seed, tie up the series against the Phoenix Suns, 118-103 in Game 4, 2 games apiece now. Pelicans, are obviously sort of lucky. They're playing a team that doesn't have Devin Booker right now, but they're using it to their advantage. They had an amazing game from Jonas Valanciunas, who had 15 rebounds and 26 points, 30 points from Brandon Ingram, 18 from CJ McCollum. I mean, this Pelicans team, if they can win this series, they're looking good. I mean, I don't think they could beat the Warriors personally, but they're a very good team. DeAndre Ayton, 23 points, but he was the leading scorer for the Suns. They didn't have a very good game from Chris Paul, who only had 4 points, and very disappointing loss for the Suns as they played them in New Orleans. So anyways, guys, that's all the game fours. Let me know your guys' thoughts. I'll see you guys later, and yeah, peace out.